G'day, I'm David G, Sheshnag Yoga Center. What on earth is Kundalini? Sheshnag.com. So, as I look into myself more and more, I'm fascinated by the perfection of life to give me an instant feedback through my experience externally of my relationship with myself. It's quite profound. It's like what they talk about when they're saying Om Namah Shivaya Hara Hara Mahadev. The ability for life to actually create or be created by your own inner resonance. It sounds bizarre and incomprehensible to the average mind because it's outside of their perception. But on some level, every experience I have is totally just, totally perfectly coordinated by myself for the experience of me to come to an appreciation of pure being and loving that moment, no matter what it feels like, whether it's painful, joyful, whether you're equanimous to it or not. The whole experience of life. It's really, really so fascinating to me that you can change other people's behaviour, or you can eliminate people from your life, not even by having a conversation with them, but by changing the inner resonance of yourself. The question is, how do you resonate, and what sort of experiences are you creating outside, subconsciously, unconsciously, or consciously? And then, if they're unhealthy or inharmonious to where you want to go and a life of fullness, then how do you cultivate within you, within me? I have to cultivate, if you look at my own wounds, I have the deepest wounds around self-worth. They get expressed through insecurities, jealousy, snide remarks, trying to slash people, trying to be a victim. That's all superficial on top of the lack of self-worth. Even to the extent at work, I've created an environment where I've accepted people's behaviours. Then when I change my own inner resonance around my own self-worth, then people change, or I implement the changes through the policies and protocols in place. It's not always possible to do with everyone that you interact with. The key is the inner resonance. How do I fine-tune my own inner resonance for a peaceful existence on the planet while I have a healthy relationship with myself and the divine appreciation of coordination of life and how it happens? So, inner resonance, it's fascinating. By going inwards, you can change outwards. It really amazes me, and I hope that it makes sense to you. I don't know what your vibrations are, what your samskaras are, what your adhesions in your etheric body are that create experiences externally. So, in the dynamic of your life, how do you create? Are you participating in it? Are you setting the vibe? Are you like putting the antivirus through your CPU on a daily basis so you can have a non-corrupt experience of life energetically? Or if you're ignoring your own CPU, then you focus externally on different components and you blame those, or go over the top in a way that it actually resembles your own inner resonance, but you're unconscious of it. So, how do I step up into a state of worthiness is my question at the moment. How do I step up in unconditional love when I'm experiencing a barrage of pain underneath? So, inner resonance is the answer to be able to cultivate that into my heart, into the experience of knowing that everything's just. It's cool. It's really fascinating. I watched a movie called Lucky about an old guy who was spiritually illumined or enlightened, but he had kept to himself, and he had a few friends and stuff, but at the end he said, it's all going to be nothing. You create a house, you create an identity, you create this and this and this, but at the end of the day, it's unguts, which he meant to mean pretty much all of this stuff is temporary, and at the end of the day, who'll remember anyway? What you take is your soul, your vibration in your etheric body. That's about it. But everything's nothing. How do I create an inner resonance where I appreciate that, seem to value externally things that are temporarily in my experience, but not permanent? Wow, I don't have any idea. Cool. It was a cool movie anyway. Share the world, sheshnag.com. Om Namah Shivaya, Har Har Mahadev. Thanks for listening.